Hey everybody, Elijah Scheidler here with more insights and lessons from life. Today's lesson came by way of a little girl spilling her cereal all over the place. You may be in this parenting racket way longer than I have. And by now this is no new news to you, but it's the first time I've had kids, so I'm just making this stuff up as I go. But this morning I made Kailani her morning breakfast cereal and had to thaw out some breast milk, mixed it into her little oatmeal, stirred it all up, got it all mixed up, and had given her 2 bites when Azriela, my oldest, wanted help on the other side of the kitchen. So I left the bowl on the tray. Yeah, you experienced parents might know what's coming. Go across the kitchen, help Azriela with what she needs help with, turn back around, and Kailani has dumped her bowl of cereal everywhere. And it's on her hands, on her neck, on her lap, it's all over the tray. It's gotten down inside of her high chair. It went through a strap hole, so it was all over the straps, down inside of the high chair. So I had to tear everything apart in the high chair. Oh, just so frustrating. And so I took Kailani in to get her all cleaned up. So I wiped everything off as best I could and took her to her room to get her changed up. And so while I was changing Kailani's outfit, Azriela asked me, "Daddy, what happened? What happened? What did Kailani do?" It was a prime opportunity to be able to give good instruction as a dad. And I said, "Kailani didn't do anything, honey. Daddy had a mistake." And so I asked Azriela, I was like, "Could you talk Daddy through what I did that didn't set Kailani up for success?" And so Azriela analyzed the problem beautifully. She said, "Daddy, you left the bowl too close to Kailani." And I was like, "Yeah, I did. That was a mistake, honey. What could Daddy do in the future to help set Kailani up for success?" And so Azriela sat there. She was in the rocking chair, so she's rocking back and forth. And she's like, "I think if you left the bowl farther away so she couldn't grab it, that would probably be good." I was like, "Yeah, that's a great solution, honey." And then I asked her, I said, "Azriela, in the future, if you see Daddy leaving the bowl too close to Kailani, could you help remind me to move the bowl away from her so that she'll be set up for success? Because that's what Daddy wants to do. That's my commitment. I think that's a great plan, and that's what I want to do. Could you help hold me accountable to that and help me succeed?" And so Azriela, she says yes, and then we moved on from there. So my insight for you, my lesson in this video isn't don't put a bowl of cereal within reach of a 6-month-old. That's not a lesson. That's just called common sense, which apparently I don't have. But my lesson that I learned as a dad was one of looking at the situation of it being frustrating, that there was cereal that was spilled. It took a lot of time out of my morning, but not to miss the moment of teaching that I could have with my daughter. In that moment, it was a very safe opportunity for me as the leader, as my daughter's father, to set an example of creating a safe space to share mistakes. And so with our kids, lessons are more often caught than taught. And so the lesson that I hope that my daughter catches over time is that sharing mistakes helps us to work through them, and not only work through them well, but to also set ourselves up for success in the future. And so hopefully over time, that as my daughter gets older, today it was spilled cereal, but as my daughter grows, that she could come to me and say, "Dad, I was irresponsible. I didn't study for my tests, and I'm not ready for my test on Friday. Dad, I wrecked the car." Later in life, maybe, "Dad, my boyfriend and I, we had a mistake." And if I as a leader, if I as my daughter's father can set an example that I'm leading the charge, I'm showing that it's safe for me to confess mistakes to my 3-year-old daughter, and that I want her input on what I did that was the mistake. I want her input on how to move forward successfully. That if I lead the charge in that, if I establish that as a culture now in my family, that hopefully forward into the future, that then she will have the freedom to be able to bring her mistakes to me. That's the lesson I learned today, folks. Hopefully it's encouraging for you. If you've already been way down this road with your kids and you're like, that's old hat. Hopefully you can share with me down in the comments how that's helped you and your family, how your kids have been empowered to share their mistakes with you as they've gotten older. I'd love to be able to hear about that and learn from more experienced parents. Blessings on your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.